The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man,
MH.
Yes, he is the DB of the show, and we are Black in Sports here, interviewing the best professionals in the game and in the boardroom, and we will not shut up, all right? So covering it all, laughing it all while providing a platform to be heard. You know what we do about this time, and we have to welcome in our guests. So he is a former NBA guard. This undrafted Las Vegas native, played 10 years in the league. He is a Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Famer. So, you know, we definitely got to clap him up for our Hall of Famer here. A philanthropist, children's book author, angel investor, and entrepreneur. Please, let's clap it up for Charles Akeem Watson Jr.
Man, you have to give my whole government, man. God damn.
but CJ, man, thank you for jumping on the show, man. How we like to start this? We start with a shoot your shot moment, man. And I mean, for the listeners, man, we've been trying to get you on the show since day one. So we're in year 6, man. So this is the perfect time, man. This is the perfect season. So CJ, man, give us the shoot your shot moment, man. It could have been any time in life, man, your younger days, what you're doing now, but just a shoot your shot moment where you went for it all, man. You could have won, or you could have learned a lesson, man.
I would have to say, just off the top of my head, shoot your shot moment. I was overseas playing still. I went undrafted. And I had a chance to continue to play overseas or go back to America and play in the G League, which is the D League back then. And I just took the chance of playing in the D League, so I'm gonna bet on myself, and that's to me my shoot my shot moment.
Outstanding, man. It's a pleasure to have you, man. Been a big fan. I'm a kind of like just a basketball fan. So CJ Watson, I'm very familiar with from just a fan of the game. So big shout out to you. Thank you for joining us, man. Where did your love for sports start?
My love for sports started just at home, playing with my dad, my brother, my mom and dad. All my aunts and uncles, they played sports. They were super competitive. We still trash talk to this day about who could be who's better than who, family functions and stuff like that. So that's kind of where the game started for me. And then also just at Doolittle, where I was born here in Vegas. Growing up here, Doolittle was the West Side kind of raised me, did raise me. So, and playing there kind of helped develop a passion for the game, but also a love for it too. Just playing in that community, but also playing with all those players that I played and grew up with.
Yeah, I mean, we're out here in Vegas, so I still try to. Well, I did up until about last year try to get out to Doolittle to play a little bit, but. I can't get to the cup like I used to be able to one day, so
right.
It's not good for our mental health. So, so Gorman High School, right? Bishop Gorman.
Yeah, Bishop Gorman.
Now what was Gorman in that time? Was it one of the like it is now, or is it kind of development? Like where was it as a program at that point?
I think back then, obviously, it was still one of the better private schools here in the city. And for me, I didn't pick my path to go, choose high school or whatever. I remember back in 8th grade, kids would always ask, going around the school, where are you going for high school? Where are you going there? I was like, I don't know. I didn't know where I was going. My parents decided my fate. So my mom already knew I was going to Gorman. We applied for the scholarship. We didn't have money to pay for it. So, but she knew. Number one, academically, it was a great school. Then number two, I think the athletics was just a throw-in. But for me, Gorman was kind of, to me, back then it was a powerhouse. Everybody wanted to still go there. We obviously weren't winning championships like they are now, consecutively. But we were always competitive, and always one of those teams you had to mention who had a chance to win state. You always had to put Gorman in the mix.
Well, while you were there, I mean, you made sure they stayed in the mix, man. So how was that kind of, playing and winning those? Now, was the titles back to back, or was it consecutive years, or was it 1 year and off a year?
So my freshman year, I got hurt. I played 10 or 12 games, got hurt. So sat out the rest of the season. And then sophomore year came back, made varsity, and we won the championship that year. Junior year, had a great team. Our whole starting five went D1. I was only a junior in the starting five. Lost in the championship to some school named Western. They beat us, luckily. I will let them have it for now. And then my senior year, I just had my whole motivation was just kind of to get payback for all the seniors from last year who didn't have a chance to come back and play. And that was kind of my drive and initiative to kind of win another state title.
So, I mean, in your career, you wore a lot of different hats of just kind of roles and opportunities with different ball clubs. So, I guess that part of that developed at high school in Gorman. I've just
I
been able to
think
wear different
throughout,
hats.
yeah, I think throughout my whole kind of basketball journey, even when I was younger, I wasn't obviously the best player, but I think feel like I worked the hardest. I put the most work in. I feel like, and I just wanted to be good. I didn't want to settle for mediocre, and my parents always preached that. They would always say, we're not raising a mediocre kid, so you got to shoot above and beyond. And if you fall anywhere below that, then that's fine with us. But you're not, gonna half-ass it. So that's kind of was my mentality the whole way through. And I kind of put that on throughout every role that I had. That's why I think I was good at playing any role, because I didn't really need to be the star. If I could be the star, that's cool. But at the end of the day, I can be the bench player. I can come off the bench, give you a spark. I can be the distributor. I didn't have to score, so I played many roles, and I think that was the best thing about my game.
No, that and Gatorade Player of the Year type of game, right? Like going on and achieving those awards. And was that something you set sight for, or was that just kind of you were head down and grinding?
Yeah, I was always just head down grinding. I really never cared about accolades, but if you go in my parents' garage, you see all the trophies and awards and medals and stuff like that. And even to this day, I never played for that. I played just to win, because if you win, all those other things will come to you. And it's the same message I preach to my daughter. But I think winning Gatorade Player of the Year my junior year was kind of a shocking, because I didn't think I was even in the running for it. I knew there were seniors that were better than me and stuff like that, and they should probably get the recognition. But at the end of the day, I know I put the work in, and I feel like I deserved it. And our team was good too, so that's kind of how that went.
Nice. Go ahead, mate.
Now, I feel like players that get to like the level that you got to NBA, like your game is your game. So, like, has your game? How did your game evolve? Was it always kind of similar and just playing on different levels, or did you take different leaps with every step that you made?
I think every level calls for a change in my game. In high school, I was more of a scorer, getting to the basket, playing defense, getting steals. College, a little bit of the same, but more of a facilitator, because I was the smallest guy on the court now, and I had guys 6'5", 6'6" who can put the ball in the basket. So I had to figure out how to get them the ball, but also, still hit that open jump shot or open three when those guys got doubled or they got doubled in the post. And in the NBA, I think it was the same kind of way. Every team was different. When I got to the Warriors, it was more just go out there and score and put the ball in the basket. Then when it got to the Bulls, it was kind of more of a facilitator, but still score off the bench. And then, like I said, every team was different. So whatever the team needed for me to do, I think I just try to do that to the best of my ability.
Love that. So, Tennessee, Vol, you're an alum, man. So how was that recruiting process? How did that ultimately become, where you attended and then played your college ball?
So not a lot of people know this story, but I was going to commit to UCLA. I was on a visit there, and Steve Lavin ended up getting fired. That was my dream school. I used to watch Tyus Edney and the O'Banion twins play when I was younger. In the house watching them play in the NCAA tournament. That was like a dream for me to get to the tournament. And I love LA, so LA is like that's the next thing best to Vegas. So, and the closest thing. So I always wanted to go there, play there, but it didn't happen like that. And then once he got fired, I just opened up my recruiting, and Tennessee was one of the first schools to call. My parents are from Nashville. All my family's from there, so it was easy choice. And they gave me the keys to the ship. Day one, they said as soon as I come there, I would play and start and be able to learn and grow. So I love that part of it. And they were still a good team, and the SEC was tough back then, even as a point guard. Like every night I was going against an NBA point guard, so it was good learning lesson for me. And just to play against that type of caliber of competition was good for me.
How was it going into Kentucky and playing? I've always, they one of the blue bloods. How was that?
It was crazy, man. It was crazy because they're always one of the best schools. And then back then they had Cliff. I think his name was like Cliff Harris or something. He was a left-handed point guard. He was picking me up literally full court. I was like, dude, give me a break. I was like, I can't do this for the whole game. Somebody gotta come get this dude, set a pick or something. But it was fun playing against there. And that was one of the bigger schools, and they're always in the top, 4 or 10 in the country. So it was a big game each time they came to play, and then also just going in the Rupp Arena.
Now, you said the families from that Nashville area. I mean, they're not just from there. I mean, they're history making, right? Like,
yeah.
So who is it on your? So it's Mary Watson that was part of the like desegregation going back into the
Mhm.
school. Like, what's that? What is she in your lineage?
Yeah, she's my grandma. She's my dad's
Okay,
mom. So all my
dad's
family,
mom.
they're
Okay,
born
great.
there. Yeah, yeah. My mom's family is from Murfreesboro, which is only like 30 minutes away, but they would always drive there and come there. So, but my grandma desegregated a all white school. I forgot the actual year, but it's in the civil rights movement, and she was one of 6 families to
That's
desegregate it. My aunt was actually the one who went to the school, and they used to get bomb threats. They used to tell my grandma they would kidnap her kids and and kill them. My dad would tell stories about how the white people would chase him and throw rocks at him from school. So, it was in that era, which I'm glad I didn't grow up in that era.
that
But
part.
just hearing stories and and just the courage and stuff that my grandma went through, and just to stand up to those people and to say, "Hey, my kids deserve the same level of education as everyone else." It took balls, and for her to do that, kind of changed the way, and that's why we can, our kids can kind of go to school with whoever, and the times we live in now is a lot better. It's getting better. I wouldn't say a lot better.
Right. And I mean, hell, you went to Tennessee and they gave you the keys, right? Like
Yeah,
all of that
yeah,
stuff
for sure.
just how the legacy, man. Go ahead, MH.
Yeah, we had a recent interview talking about kind of the role that sports and athletes play in just American society, and how we have a huge influence on the culture, or I should say how you guys have a huge influence on the culture. Is that something that you noticed while you were in the game, or it was just kind of locked into the craft at that point?
I think for me, I was always. I mean, Vegas is kind of like we don't really have. I mean, it's probably not good to say we don't really have our own style. I feel like because everyone comes here, so we get style from everywhere, and I lived everywhere too. So it's kind of I got style from down south because I went to Tennessee every summer, so I was bumping Master P and No Limit and Cash Money and all that type of stuff. In the West
To the
Coast, when
key.
it's not that wasn't popular back in the day. Everybody back here in Vegas was bumping Dr. Dre and Snoop and everything from LA. So I think being a part of a culture is definitely there. You know it, but you really don't recognize it until kind of after you leave the game, or maybe when you're done, or people just say, "Hey, you started this trend," or something like that. So I don't think you really realize it until kind of maybe 5 or 10 years later.
So we always like to call out and shout out certain things. So you definitely hashtag girl dad, and MH definitely relates to that. You know, he's got
Mhm.
a younger sports phenom that he's growing up. But man, how is it, man? A lot of volleyball tournaments. I know you're
Yeah.
proud dad right now. With your daughter, isn't she off on her way, or really doing a lot in volleyball, right?
Yeah, she's off to school in January, so very proud of her. I never really wanted her to play sports, man, honestly, because I knew what sports can
Really?
do to you mentally and physically. So I was never one to like, hey, my daughter has to play sports; she has to follow my footsteps. So I never wanted that for her, or that pressure to have to kind of live up to what I did and kind of measure that against herself. So I just wanted her to be a good human, be a good student, and then from there, that's what you choose to do. That's we gonna do it the right way, and you're gonna. I've done it before, so I can tell you what to do and what not to do. So if you really want to be great at this, then just listen and put the work in. So, and she's done that,
Exactly.
she's done that to the utmost. We've had arguments about, a whole bunch of stuff about lifting, about, practice, about, off time. So it's been a daily grind and a struggle. I'm sure MH can tell you those things too. But as the girls and get older, they talk back a lot more. So
Ah,
it's just something that happens.
Get ready, MH.
Yeah, the teenage years is great, but yeah, there's a lot of back talk.
oh man. I mean, my daughter, we got a long way. We she's 6. She just had her
Oh yeah,
birthday.
you got a ways then. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, you haven't
yeah.
even started yet.
Yeah, no, well, when we started on the foundation, I just we bought her a trampoline for her birthday. So to me, I feel like that's like the foundation of let's see what you
Yeah,
really want to do, right? And if you
right.
really want to do
Mhm.
this, we can figure it out from here, man. So
Yeah, for
uh,
sure.
as I was saying, man, like just a fan of just talking to ball players. You play with Golden State. AJ, can we get to there now, or you
Oh
want me to
yeah,
come back?
let's jump in the game, man.
Okay.
And this is just talking about your career and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So go ahead, man. Hit him with it.
Yeah, we played in Golden State and Chicago and spent some time in Brooklyn. And this is talking about the NBA here and with the Pacers in Orlando. You don't have to go through every team, every roster, but just something that you learn through kind of each part of those organizations, and how did that carry over to to the others, so to speak?
I think from just starting, I think just getting to Golden State, how I got there was kind of, I wouldn't say a luck of a draw, but actually when I got called up from the D League, two teams called me up at the same time, Charlotte Bobcats and the Golden State Warriors, but the Golden State Warriors just pulled the trigger faster. So I think getting there was just a eye opening for me because I always thought I could play at the NBA, but just, never thought it could really happen. And then Baron Davis being one of my favorite players, I was literally just playing weeks before on the video game with him, and then now I'm in the practice with him, shaking his hand, talking to him, getting advice here and there. So I think that situation just taught me to be grateful, but also know that hard work, it deserves gratitude. So from there, and I also just winning, because we didn't win a lot in Golden State, but we're still competitive. But I think just learning more about winning and how the league kind of worked from there, and then went to the Bulls, and the Bulls just taught me professionalism, team chemistry, because that team, we really stuck together. We all hung out together, went to dinners together on the road. We hung out together. So that's why we were so good on and off the court. From there, where do I go? Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I just wanted to get back to what honestly, my value. I took the league minimum that year, so I was pissed about that. So I just wanted to get back to my value, and get back to the money. So in Indiana, I just was I was getting older, being more of a vet on the young team. So just learn how to give advice instead of always taking it, throughout my career, the first, 5 or 6 years. And then Orlando was just like a kind of like a rebuilding, reopening year, a young team. Tried to win, but just couldn't figure it out. A lot of young guys, a lot of moving parts, and everyone trying to get a contract too. So that's not ever a good thing on the team when everyone's trying to get a contract.
And anything with your time with the Pacers?
Pacers was just learning lessons, and then also had to battle with injuries. That was one of my first years where I had a lot of injuries, especially my second year. Had a bad elbow injury, which put me out like more than like 75% of the year. So that was tough. So yeah, just battling injuries and how to deal with like front office type stuff.
So how did you deal with that, right? Because that's one of the things that, luckily, blessingly, that you had a 10-year career, but sometimes that injury, it's a lot of mental,
Yeah.
we've had athletes talk about, and then when you have that issues when you're battling with the front office, man, what were some of the things you did, or like some of the support you had to kind of overcome that? Because like you said, you left there and still, played a little more.
Yeah, just putting the work in, man. Like I said, the work doesn't cheat itself. It's always going to be there. Even when times I didn't want to work out, I didn't want to do treatment, stuff like that, I was doing it just to show and prove that I could get back healthy, could get back right, and could get back to the court to help the team. And just dealing with the front office and training staff was kind of frustrating, but I think that helped me just to not listen to what people say about you, but also just kind of figure out and drive your own narrative, because at the end of the day, what they were saying was not the truth.
Nice. And so, like, so you're talking about injuries, and right now in the NBA, there's just a lot of talk about the load management, right? They're harboring and pushing tough on it. I don't want to say you understand, right? Because it's two different eras, where people played more games, and availability was like a big factor. But like, how do you battle that? Because obviously you had a testament that battling with the training department, where you're saying like, I don't know if there was something where they were pushing you, you knew you weren't right, or they weren't giving you the things that you needed. But just kind of, what are your thoughts about like being available, and then, just that battle with players and what they're doing right now with the load management?
Yeah, just like you said, it's a different era. Back in, I feel like when I say I feel like an OG when I say back in my day, but back in I played, right. But back in my day, the goal was always to play 82 games. I think I played 82 games maybe 1 or 2 years, so that's kind of rare. But that was kind of the big thing. If you can play 82 games, that shows you're durable, you can last long. And nowadays, the best ability is availability. So. But I do agree with the load manager. I think our bodies as athletes take a lot mentally and physically, especially through a long season. Now with social media, people reading that who knows where their mind is at. So I don't know how they do it. So I definitely think there's a give and take. But I also believe in, like, fans pay a lot of money for these tickets and stuff like that. These streaming packages are not cheap. So to watch a game, to see your favorite player play, Even if you're going in person, like to see somebody play, like you spend your hard-earned money or your parents' hard-earned money, so you want to see that player play, so that means a lot to the fans, and that's how we eat. I mean, without the fans, we don't have a sport. So I think you got to please them at the end of the day, but also that you got to take care of your body too. But also that comes, make sure you're recovering, you're icing, you're doing all these things to stay healthy and stay available.
Yeah, man, these streaming services then cut into my daughter's Christmas.
Right. Yeah.
This is
Christmas. That is Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. That is Christmas. So you received some votes for 6 Men of the Year in 2011-12 when you was with the Bulls. Yeah. You received some votes. So I guess that's part of my question. Do you know that when you up for an award and you receiving some votes, or how does that even process work?
Like back then I really didn't care. I mean, I knew I was up for it, but I didn't think I was gonna ever win it. I was more pissed about not winning the 3-point contest, honestly, that year, because I was shooting the 3 ball very well, and that's kind of what the Bulls wanted me to do, was shoot more threes, because they didn't really have that 3-point threat besides Kyle and Luau. So I was really more pissed about that than anything, because I thought I deserved to be. Threat? Yeah, he can shoot the 3. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
He was more mid range, but he still could knock an open 3 down. Okay. Yeah. It wasn't like it was his go to. But yeah, I was more pissed about not being a 3-point contest, honestly, than anything.
Okay. All right.
So how does that work then? Like, does each team have to send a representative, or can they have multiple? Like, why didn't you get in there?
I don't know. Actually, I thought, like I said, I thought I was a lock. I think it's more about attempts, 3-point percentage. And I think for the biggest part of me, I think we had a good team. I think we were first at the time, so why not put a player from the first place team in the 3-point contest? So that was just my reasoning.
So I didn't know. So it's like an invite thing for the All-Star for certain
it's
things.
an invite. Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta. It's just like now they have like all the for player of the year, but for MVP you got to play so many games or whatever. So it was kind of like that, but it was like more percentages, attempts. I don't think I shot enough attempts, but I made enough. But my percentages were good enough too. Just I didn't shoot enough.
Gotcha.
I was going to ask you about attempts. Now, even talking about today's game, where they're, I think the average person get about 5.
Man, it's terrible. I was just watching the Warriors and Heat game. These dudes are literally jacking the ball up every time. they don't even care. I'm like, dude, these are bad shots. Like, I'm okay with you shooting the 3 ball, but dang, at least take a good shot. Like, they are literally just. It's like anybody can shoot. Like back when we played. You had if you were a 3-point shooter, you can shoot it. If you weren't, don't shoot it. You wouldn't even think about shooting it.
But I'm sure analytics played it even when you was playing. The analytic part of how much a shot is worth versus whatever your strengths are. Like, so what do you think the big change was? What do you think it was, like the Warriors kind of dominance, or
I think it's too many people. This is what I really think. I think it's too many people who have never played the game and are now making analytical decisions and thinking, hey, a 3 is better than 2. When was a 3 ever better than a layup? A for sure layup. I don't understand that. Like, there's too many people who have not actually played the game and doing and saying stuff and saying, oh yeah, I'm doing this because no, that's not how it works. It don't go like that.
2 is better than 3, so we got to do this.
Yeah. Like, what? I mean, at some occasions, if you're running down the court and a corner, I'll take a corner 3 before I take a top of the key 3 or a wing 3. Like that, the corner 3 is the easiest shot in basketball to me, besides a layup. But like I said, if you're running to the 3-point line and you got a for sure layup, like that's idiotic to me.
I would agree. What was the significance behind number 32? Was there significance there?
No, my favorite player is Magic, so I always love Magic, like his persona on the court, off the court, always smiling, in all the commercials, and he was just one of my favorite players, and the way he passed the ball, played the game at a fast pace, so he was my favorite player.
All right, and then my last question about this basketball, it's funny to me. The double sleeves part, I'm a huge Carmelo Anthony fan, and I feel like he didn't get to where he needed to because he put too much equipment on. The double sleeves it just bothered me. So when did the double sleeves like become a thing, and what positives does that give you besides more equipment on your arms and stuff?
So double sleeves, honestly, it's not really like equipment. It's just like a little pad in my elbow. So I wore it because I feel like I started the trend of this. Like you said, back to your trend question. I started the trend of this because when I was playing with the Warriors, I got injured. I got fouled. I fell over the front row seats because nobody was there. It was halftime, and I fell over the over the seats because nobody could catch me. And my elbow hit the concrete of the floor, and I chipped a bone in my elbow. So that's why I wear a sleeve. And then I did the same thing on my other elbow in Chicago. I dove for a ball, and somebody dove on top of me, and I dislocated my elbow right then and there. And we was up by 30 at the time with 1 minute left. So I don't recommend diving on the ball when you're up by 30. But that's why I wore two sleeves. I wore two sleeves because my sleeve actually had a pad in there. So if I fell on my arm, it wouldn't hurt as bad. But and then kept my elbows warm too, like for shooting and stuff like that.
I respect that, CJ. I respect the medical part behind it, because
a lot of dudes now just wearing it just to wear it. They're not hurt. Yeah.
What's a misconception that you can share or that you feel that people have about, being in the league or making it to the league, or maybe even one that you had before you got there that once you got there, you're like, oh man, that's crazy.
I thought that guys didn't play hard. I still think that sometimes, even being on the court, because I feel like that's true still. Sometimes it just depends. But I definitely think the business part of it, people don't understand it, and there's a misconception about that, the business part, and how deals get made, how deals get done. I didn't really know about the money has to match up, to make a trade work, all that kind of stuff. So that's the things that I kind of know now just from being in it, and also this day and age, we have way more information than we did back then, I feel like, too, about certain stuff. So that's kind of one thing I would say.
And then last on the NBA, then we'll move forward, unless it makes you ask something. Just how was the NBA PA for you, like, as a player, right? Because I know, you support and you do work, and I know they do a lot of stuff here for NBA Summer League. How did you feel it represented or it was, when you played, to kind of like what they're doing now?
It's pretty good. I think for me, the NBA POA was a way to do some stuff off the court that you wanted to do. So like every summer I would do internships. I did an internship at Google, American Express, EA Sports. I did a couple of real estate ones, just to see what I liked, what I didn't like, what I wanted to do after basketball. So I think for that part, the PA was beneficial for that. But other than that, I know a lot of players, didn't really go to the office or stuff like that. Just really wasn't nothing to, I guess, really go see or go do. So, but I think for those resources that we had, those internships were very beneficial for me, because I got to go see, these Fortune 500 companies and talk with the people that are running and making decisions, but also get a feel of, if I wanted to go into that particular market or industry when I was done playing.
That's fantastic.
The grind of NBA season, I feel like we see players on TV and we see them in different cities throughout the weekend, but we don't really understand the grind from just a personal standpoint of just mental health, physical health, emotional, family perspective. For what you want to share with our audience, just you spend multiple years in the league, so just talk a little bit about that part of the grind during the 82 game season.
Man, the grind is fun. The grind is tedious, tiring, a lot of travel. Sometimes I would wake up in cities and wouldn't even know what city I was in, because that's how much we were traveling. And also, we would, people don't understand. We play a game at 7:30. Then we're flying from Miami to Detroit. We don't get into 2. So you still gotta wake up at 8 o'clock, do shoot around, do breakfast. Then take a nap again, and then get ready for the game. But still, it's just a tedious thing. And then when you have family, say you have family, that your kids or whatever you're worried about, you can't really be there because you got to have someone else go check in on them if something happens. So it's a whole bunch, but that's life. It's a part of the business, what you sign up for. You just got to get used to it and learn how to manage it.
Jeez, man, people, and the way they say respect the grind, right? So the Big Three, man, you had a chance to play with the Ice Cube's Big Three, man. You were a part of the Killer Threes, I believe. What was a team that you played for a couple of years, man? Tell us about that experience, man, and what you think about the league and what
So before I even played in it, I watched a couple games.
Okay,
I said I would never play in this. So that was my first instinct. I was like, dude, I'm not playing in this.
I'm not doing this.
I'm like, dude, these dudes is out of shape. Number one, they're not even playing basketball. They fouling everybody. So it's like, I don't want to be. That's not my type of game. I need a real ref to call real fouls. So I said I wouldn't play. But then one of my old teammates was actually a captain of a team, and they needed a spot. So he hit me up, and that's kind of how I got on the team. And but I loved it, man. It was cool. It was a good another way for guys to make money, but also have that team aspect. A lot of guys miss that team aspect, that bonding aspect of guys being in the locker room, and you still get to travel, play a game that you love, and also just be around the game. So it was cool.
So, want to talk about your foundation. We'll ask more questions, but I'd want to talk about how that became and why that was so big for you to start your foundation. And so your foundation, two things too, is the Quiet Storm Foundation. I had the opportunity to work with you and support, be a part of that as you've been developing, doing that for many years here. But tell us why you started it and, what the foundation and the scholarship is about.
Yeah, so since I was always, infatuated with Magic Johnson in the Showtime era, I always wanted to be a celebrity. So, like I said, LA was like that celebrity, that place, and I always said if I ever made it big or just any influence, I wanted to give back to my community, which is here in Vegas and in the West Side. So that's kind of why we started it. It was more so my parents because they have a big heart and they always giving back and helping people. When I was younger, they would take me and my brother to nursing homes and feed the homeless and do stuff there. So I think just doing that kind of put the niche in my back to always be able to give back. And there's always some kid that maybe might need that inspiration and motivation and not have that support system. So we want to be that support system, and that's kind of why we started. And we just do those 4 programs throughout the year or 3 programs throughout the year: free basketball camp, Black History essay contest, and out of school program. So just trying to give back to the community, but also just help the next generation.
Yeah, I mean, and you do some, and we'll get into this storytelling. Where did that genesis come from? When did you start getting into storytelling? I mean, you're telling your story with us right now, but how did that part start?
Writing books was not. I didn't want to be an author. I was literally retired, sitting on the couch, and I just wanted to continue to tell my story, but also inspire kids. And I said, what's a way to kind of talk to kids and tell your story? And I said, why not through books? So because kids need to read, and I didn't know any authors. One of my coaches had written like a self-help book. That's the only thing that I knew of an author. And I called him and asked for some advice and information, and he gave it to me. And then that's kind of when the first book started. And then we put that together. It took about 6-7 months, and then I was like, I have more stories to tell, so let's do some more. So that's when we did book 2, 3, and 4.
That's good stuff, man. And just like the process too, because like not wanting to do it and then doing something like that's just amazing. That's the way you tell the story, and the fact that the children's book and the illustrator, once you find that, I don't know how the back and forth. You like it sounds like when you see the finished product, of course, you're always like, wow, that's amazing. You know what I mean? And I think I gave that gift to my aunt when I gave
we still have it. We very much still have it. Yeah. I can't wait to tell her after we done with this. I'm like, yeah.
That's funny. That's crazy.
We very much still have it, man.
But it's just like, go ahead, man.
Yeah. Is this I mean, it's that transition, was that something that you knew during your days of playinghood that I wanted to write stories, or you, like you said, that just came smooth right after retiring?
That literally just came like I wanted to continue to be an inspiration to these kids. Like obviously playing in the NBA is an inspiration, but at the time I wasn't playing, so I was like, how can I still be an inspiration? And I feel like even as an athlete, your time comes and goes, but you still can inspire others, and that's kind of how it came up.
Now, you had interviews where you said that you've always kind of prepared, and I think we even covered it, right? Talking about even in high school, like you were preparing and learning and changing, adapting your game. And then each level, when you went to college, what it was like to adapt and change. Did you always know that you wanted to do something outside of, or were you always preparing, right? Because I think the biggest struggle we talk with a lot of athletes is that transition period. And I don't know if you had an issue or trouble with it, because it seems like you were always preparing, even sharing the story like, hey, I went to the NBA PA and did these internships. Yeah. Was that something where you were always saying, hey, let me build and, sharpen my skills, put another tool in the toolkit? Has that always been the process for you? And specifically when it comes to like after ball is done?
Yeah, I think so. I think, when I have two parents who that's why they preach. They preach being a millionaire. My dad had probably 5 or 6 different jobs. You can ask him, he'll tell you. So he was a chameleonaire in that respective, or Jamaican he calls it, because they got so many jobs. But I think, my mom at a young age, I used to be with my mom all the time. And going to different seminars and conferences with her, and her making me sit in on meetings and stuff like that. And maybe I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but that she was kind of preparing me for, kind of what I'm doing now in VC and private equity, and trying to making deals, and doing all this kind of stuff. So I think that kind of set the foundation of, being prepared for the transition. But I think just like any athlete, I didn't know what I wanted to do. It's just like I have all these interests, and I have so many interests. It's like I was telling somebody the other day, I wasn't that great at one thing in basketball. I was good at a whole bunch of things. So it's the same thing with kind of after basketball too. I like a whole bunch of different things, real estate, private equity. So it's not just one lane that I'm choosing. I want to be good at, a little bit, literally everything, and have like a boiling pot of successful, things that I like to do.
Did that help you get back? I mean, I know obviously NBA players and really all athletes that have routines. So did
Mhm.
the other interests and the multi skill set help you get into routine after playing?
Yeah, I think so. And even now, my routine is just I look at my calendar when I get in bed tonight at about 11:30 and see what I got to do for the next day to try to figure that out. So I don't have a routine, but make sure all whatever my kids got to do, I'm there for that for sure. And then after that, I can set up my schedule, around that. So I still don't really have a routine, but I'm so used to a routine. Even in the NBA, the routine it changes every day. It was never like it's 8 o'clock practice, and one day we could have practice at 12 and be there for an hour. The next day we got to be here at 7 and be there for 3 hours. So it was just kind of, I think as an athlete, you kind of adapt. And that's kind of what I was good at, adapting to different situations. And that's kind of why I kind of been successful. I feel like, doing what I've been doing.
Well, I know part of the routine that you spoke about now is being there for your kids, because we've always recorded on Wednesday. And then when we first reached out, you're like, hey, I got my daughter's volleyball. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Or it was a traveling tournament. It was just, always out there. So, kudos to you. And I know that's like what your parents did. And that's definitely an important part, to have someone to support your dream and be a part of your dream, as you're building it. We're really going to jump into the winner's circle, where we talk about a lot more of, what you do. But MH, man, you ready to jump into those 3 and outs and hit the quick hits?
Yeah, CJ, just some random questions so our listeners can kind of get to know you better. You texting or are you talking on the phone?
Oh man, I got to pick one.
Pick one. Yeah.
Talking. Get your point across faster.
Is that a FaceTime, or are you still on the
Depends on who it is. FaceTime audio.
That's
a good one.
Favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week, Friday, I would have to say. It just feels different.
Favorite city in the U.S. besides the one that you live in that you enjoy?
Favorite city, I would say LA.
A nickname that you want to share that your parents used to call you?
I don't really have one. They used to call me C or CJ. That's about it.
Scale of 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
Oh man, depends on who you ask. To me, I'm probably like a 6. I'll give myself a 7 or 8. I probably be on the phone too much trying to find a good playlist or a song, or talking or texting. So yeah, I probably like 6 or 7.
All right, fill in the blank here. Derrick Rose is
unstoppable.
Love it. Favorite junk food?
Pralines and cream ice cream.
Okay. Favorite childhood TV show?
Oh, that's tough. I want to say Saved by the Bell, but it's a different one. Oh, the Winslows. Was that what it's called?
Family Matters?
Family Matters. Yeah, there you go. So the
Shout out to
Winslows.
Carl Winslow, man.
Oh,
Right.
Lord, Carl Winslow.
Steve Urkel's the man.
Stefan Urkel. Yeah, that's my show too. Yeah. Last Halloween costume. This is my last one.
I was Kobe.
Let's go. So where did the name Quiet Storm? Why do you have that moniker? Where'd that come from?
So me and my brother were 16. Like I said before, we always, when I was little, my parents either drive us to Tennessee, or we would fly, just me and my brother. And during this time, tattoos was coming out and big and heavy in the scene. And I think one of my cousins had got a couple tattoos. Then one of my teammates had got a tattoo. And at the time, this is the time when me and my brother only went to Tennessee. So we would stay with our sister, and my sister just, she let us do whatever. And we had talked about getting tattoos and blah, 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 blah. And I'm asking people, does it hurt? All that kind of stuff. And that's kind of where my nickname came from. We were getting a tattoo at the time, and literally the guy, so we didn't have no money. So we going to a cheap guy, right? This dude is a drug addict. The tattoo place is like a Motel 8, a white dude in Tennessee. You can just picture it. It's trashy. We're getting a tattoo. We get the same tattoo, the N1 guy, with the basketball, whatever. And she's like, you got to put something over it. I was like, I don't know what to put over it. She was like, you're quiet. Your game of basketball hits people like a storm. Just put Quiet Storm. And that's kind of how the nickname came about. And it's been with me ever since.
Let's go. But the whole I'm there, Tennessee in the motel.
Yeah. Don't ever do that. I think his name was like Tattoo Dave or Tattoo Bill or something like that. Yeah, don't do that.
Well, Dave had your arm sore for 2 months, boy.
Man, my arm still ain't right. I think it's still discolored to this day.
That's good stuff. So that's funny that you did bring that up. And so there was a period, I don't know if it's still that, tattoo or artwork and basketball players was like, it blew up. So was that your one and only after that experience, or did you end up getting a couple others?
No, now after that I was addicted. I got a whole bunch more. I got both my arm sleeves, my back, chest. So it was like a form of art, what people say. So it's a way to express yourself. But I actually, after a while, I was like, man, I don't like the pain. This is not good. This don't feel good. I want to express myself, but not in this manner. So I stopped getting tattoos.
And start writing books.
I had to smarten up.
I love it. All right, man, TJ, we want to jump into the winner's circle, man. And once again, our listeners know the winner's circle is just kind of like a platform to promote what you have going on. But before we get into the promotion part, man, I just want to attempt to let people know that, long live your dad. Shout out to Pops. You are taking on the full Jamaican because you got a few things going on, man. But I guess I wanted to start off with and thank you for sharing it with me. But Main Street Media just kind of put out that article, pretty much calling you the Las Vegas Warren Buffett. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know why he did that. That's big shoes to fill.
Hey, but knowing how you are, like you said, man, head down, you're gonna go after it. But yeah, man, I mean that's impressive and it's great, right? Like I can see where they're coming from just from our personal conversations that we've had over the years.
Yeah.
But man, just what made you want to get into the investing part of it, right? Because we've talked about what you've done with the foundation. We've talked about, the books, but people just need to probably understand, where the investing side comes from.
Yeah. So when I was in the NBA, I was an ambassador for this company, and it was like a little drink mix, like a Gatorade mix you put in your water. And they gave me equity. I didn't know anything about equity, didn't know anything about nothing. My business manager orchestrated the deal. He said, we're going to get you some equity. And I saw that the company wasn't taking off or moving in the right direction. So I was like, hey, just let me exchange that equity, sell it back to you and give me the cash of it. And they gave me the cash back. So I was like, oh, this is how this works. So I just kept diving in more, learning more research, trying to figure things out. And that's kind of how I got my first taste of, investing and kind of like the VC private equity world kind of.
That's beautiful. And then we had the opportunity to be a part of Angel MV because, a lot of things that's just developing, we see here in Las Vegas, whether it's, the professional teams that we're getting here, hopefully basketball soon. Just a lot of things that UNLV are doing from the sports and investment and entrepreneurial space. But what was it like to get involved with in the tech space, I should say? What was it like being a part of Angel MV and what's your thoughts with that?
It was cool, man. I loved it. I was definitely interested in when I heard about it, and I think I actually heard it from you maybe first, and then did some research on it. So I think doing that is big, and then also being one of the only few African Americans in the fund,
In the
and
program,
trying to
yeah.
learn and bring our own people in to learn about this way of kind of creating generational wealth. So that class was good for me, to learn things and learn how to do due diligence and stuff like that, because I really didn't know how to do it. I was just kind of just going with my gut at the end of the day. So, and which is not a good way to invest. So don't do that. But yeah, it was fun. I got to learn different things, different markets, and see all the different founders that all these ideas founders are creating out here, and especially in the ecosystem of Nevada.
How did the pickleball come about?
Pickleball was just having a great network, man. I think being in the NBA, playing in the NBA, being a good person, meeting people, shaking hands, and just asking people what they're into. And someone just sent me the pickleball investment randomly one day, and literally the day before, I went to play pickleball the first time ever. I was like, "This is a cool sport. This might blow up. Who knows?" But I don't really want to play it no more. But I want to play it all. So, but it was fun when I played, because it was cool, just the community of it, because it was literally at Sunset Park. It was literally like 100 people there. Everybody was
Wow.
cool. Everybody was hanging out. Everybody brought their speakers, their drinks. They just kicked back. It was like a party. So that's kind of how it came about. And then once it came to my desk, I was like, I got to do it, just to even just take a chance on it, because it's so early. Who knows what could come from it?
Now, a lot of players, not just basketball, but just professional, athletes, when they're looking to invest and start to kind of stockpile or create that nest egg, they get into real estate. And
Mhm.
you said like that's not something that you ever really liked when you first
Yeah.
started the traditional way, and then you've evolved. Like, what was it like, going through that transformation to where real estate's still a part of your portfolio, but in a different way?
I think it's all about learning, and then seeing what you're interested in, what you like to do, what you don't like to do. And that was kind of, I always heard about real estate and people, having homes and rental homes and stuff like that. And I wanted to try and do it, so I bought one. Did not like being a property manager. So at the end of the day, it was cool, but I didn't like doing it. I don't want you calling me, MH at 12 o'clock in the morning, talking about my filter, my water heater broke. I ain't got time for that. Call somebody else. But I didn't want to pay a property manager either, because I was like, do I pay a property manager when I really can do this myself?
So fair.
And I wasn't really worried about going to, changing the filters, doing all that kind of stuff, but it was just the thought of it. So hold on one second.
Yeah. No, man, that's definitely understandable, man. Like, just dealing with that, because that call right there could have been someone to say they need a new water
Yeah,
heater or
right.
something like
Right
that.
Right.
away.
Yeah. I ain't got time for it. I can't lead the podcast to check on you.
But we know those calls are now for the big figures, man. So we talked about some good stuff. I mean, even I remember like back when we were talking about the vending machines, right? Like, just
Yeah.
different things that you're into. What's a mistake or a lesson you learned in investing outside of saying, "Hey, I don't want to do real estate anymore"? But what was like a lesson or a mistake that you made that you learned from in the investment world?
I think just really just doing your due diligence. Not, like I said before, going with my gut. Really knowing the stuff that you're investing in. Like, if I don't know anything about climate control, like, why am I investing in this? It might be a good deal, but if you don't really know the ins and outs of the business, who the big players are, the big companies, all that kind of stuff, is really not going to work. So I think now my biggest thing is always know what I'm investing in, believing in that, and also believe in the team. So the team is my biggest thing. Like, the idea is great too, but having a team, a founder who can pivot, in the roles after that, COO, all that kind of stuff. So if they can work together, and figure things out, and really change and adapt, then you got something good.
Nice.
Does that belief take like time to gain that belief, or is that something that just like you said, you rely on your team and you go from there?
I think just learning. I think all the founders calls I've been on, all the email threads and just learning how just learning the language really, and learning how people talk in meetings and how founders talk to different investors or GPs of a fund and stuff like that, and how GPs talk to founders. So I think it's a really a mix, and I think just over time you'll gain that experience. But at first I didn't have it, but now I think I'm more seasoned and know what to say, what not to say, know what to even think, and I probably can guess what a founder is going to tell me just from my answer or my question, just because I've been in so many calls and so many meetings. So I think just an experience, just like anything else, kind of gives you that time management that you want.
And you know what they should tell you too, right? Like, don't be if they try to run some BS, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know it now because you've
You
seen
know
it.
it. It was definitely a question, so I'm glad you wore the hat, man. So how did you get involved with PAC? And then what and that's pro athlete community for those that don't know. How did you get involved and what do you think about that program, man? I've just recently come in contact with a couple more athletes that's got involved and seen the growth.
Yeah, I love Pac-Man. What they're doing is kind of beneficial, and they're helping athletes transition or figure out how to transition. So, and they're offering so many resources. So, I love Chip and Travis and what they're doing. And I think before it was just the major four leagues, but now any professional athlete can join. So it doesn't matter NBA, NFL. You can be overseas, minor league. So I think that's a big thing too, because we all want to feel impacted, and we're all athletes, and all at one point in time, no matter if you made your goal or not, had that goal to get to the big leagues and play there. So I love packing what they're doing, and like I said, I can't speak highly of them and refer them to many athletes as I can.
That's dope, man. Is there anything because we're slowly winding down, man? Is there anything that we missed that you want to talk about, man, or just plug, man? Because like I said, love what you're doing. I know we kind of talk what the next step is, like building out and just kind of pushing this message. It's great to see what you're doing on all levels. But is there anything else that we missed or that you want to put out there, promote?
I mean, I see you got your drinks on the back, man. I got my tequila here. I brought. Y'all
Hold
gotta go pick
on.
that up.
Wait a
Y'all gotta go
minute.
pick that up, man.
Hold
Go pick
on.
it
That
up.
has to be new because there's
Casa
no way.
Azul, baby. Go pick it up, and I got my Zen water. Go get the Zen water.
Okay.
Go get all that.
Okay.
On the backdrop of our show pretty soon, you might be seeing some new beverages. Absolutely. So, no, I'll make sure we put all of that in the show notes, man, and where they could, make sure they support that, man. We like to kind of end or wrap this up with a part we call the assist, right? And so you being a point guard and a guard, you know a little something about an assist or two. But yeah, this is where we would like for you to share with our audience maybe words that you live by, or a quote that you live by, or something that you would tell your younger self. So give us that quote or that philosophy.
A quote, I would say the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. No matter, if it's homework, if it's, paying the bills, if it's, being a father, being a dad, a husband, whatever the case may be. I think, being presentable, but also, being accountable. I don't like hearing when I do stuff wrong for my wife or my kids, but I have to apologize sometimes and say, I didn't mean to yell at you, because, they're girls. So you got to kind of massage their egos a little bit. But I think is just being holding everyone accountable in your circle. Also choosing the right people in your circle, and then choosing the right people you hang around, because those choices, is like I'm gonna tell my daughter all the time, can lead you down a path you don't want to go to. So just make sure you're making those right choices, because you only get one chance to put make an impression on someone. So you got to make the best impression, and have that be authentic.
That's facts. You only get one chance for a first impression, man. That's absolutely true, man. Well, thank you for those words, man. MH, man, please give us those final thoughts.
Now, CJ, man, we really appreciate your time, man. It's been cool getting to talk to you and getting to meet you. I know I hear your name in the city a lot, so really cool to just get to have a conversation with you, man. And fan of your game and fan of what you're doing off the court, and appreciate all the advice on the girl dad stuff.
Yeah, I got plenty more. I probably could write a book on that, but hey,
that's the next. Hey, you can have a series on that one, right?
Dad advice.
Yeah, I need a book for myself. Yeah,
right. Yeah, we all do, because I'm a first time parent. I'm learning on the go. So
I hear you, bro. No, but I appreciate you, bro. Really do, man.
No, appreciate y'all for sure.
No, absolutely, man. Thank you for your time, man. And I want to thank you, for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show, got some nuggets, and picked up some wisdom here. Please go ahead and support CJ in all his endeavors. We're going to have every way you can get in contact with it. What is the best way you like to get in contact when people reach out? Do you do LinkedIn, Instagram? You want to go ahead and throw any of those things out there? CJ?
Yeah, LinkedIn. I think my name is under CJ Watson, Quiet Storm _32. Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever they call it these days. Quiet Storm _32, and Facebook. I don't even know my username on Facebook, so just type it in. I don't know. Find me.
Hey, put the work in. You'll find them.
Right.
Put the work in. Hey, well, man, thoroughly enjoyed this, man. It was long overdue, but man, like CJ, we really appreciate your time, man. We know you're busy guys, so for you to kind of give us some time and our listeners some time, we really appreciate you. Hey, everyone, man, new shows dropping every Thursday, so please subscribe to our YouTube channel. As you know, visual representation matters. If you see it, you can be it. And then also you can subscribe and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. And as we always love to say, please stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap.